Welcome to episode 3 of the Physique podcast. Today, we are diving into a topic that is close to my heart, understanding the role of exercise, the role it plays in building the best version of yourself. But today is not a solo episode, my G's. We have a guest, and that guest is the boy, Mr.
Hello,
James
hello.
Mackan. How are you
How
doing,
you
bro?
going? I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Been a busy day today. Been a very busy day. Wednesdays go one of two ways, brother. You know, it could be very light, could be very busy, and I've had a very, very busy day today. So if anyone doesn't know, we're in 6 hours apart. So I'm currently 8 o'clock and you're 2 o'clock. So
Yeah. UK to Thailand.
gang. Love that. So let's just start this episode with a little bit about James and obviously just introduce yourself and also just tie in why exercise has that managed to help you in the current position that you're in, at the moment, bro.
My name's James, as Steve said. I've been training myself now, like probably for about 6 years or so. First time I entered the gym was by force, not literally, but two of the boys that I was mates with in A levels used to go a lot. Just typical. Used to spend the nights on the Xbox, and he was like, "Right, I'm going to the gym now. I'll pick you up." And I was like, "Nah, but don't even think about it, bro." Got dragged along, hated every single second. Just went for a social, and now I'm in the fitness industry and PT for a living, and it's completely changed my life. And I think for the better. I wouldn't be without it. So it's mad how things change very quickly, very quickly.
Bro, I remember when, so for everyone who doesn't know, and I will make you aware, James is the Steam Physique Academy's longest serving client right now, right? And when you came to me, when I said the boy was built like a fridge, there's no
Oh yeah,
exaggeration. I'm just talking no round edges, just straight lard. You know what I
square,
mean?
bro. I was a square.
Square, bro. SpongeBob SquarePants.
In the photo, I am like, there's no X-frame. I'm square.
Yeah. It's basically as if SpongeBob SquarePants was born in Cardiff. That's basically James when he came to me.
Context of that was going from a weight-in teenager, didn't eat, being in lockdown and force feeding myself because I believed at the time, because I didn't know any better, that the more you eat, the bigger you're going to get. That was the two extremes. So from not moving a lot and pounding food in, that's how we got to that position.
Yeah, so let's touch into that in regards to your situation and your early struggles with understanding the role that exercise played within your life. You know, obviously you've taken it to both ends of the extreme. So talk a little bit about that.
So I was always a skinny kid. I used to like snack a lot, but not eat big meals. And then once I started going to the gym with a couple of other guys, I was there for a couple of months, more just for the social. Didn't enjoy it, but then started seeing a bit of progress. So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And it was like a thing. I'd go with the two other lads. Shout out Dan and Ollie. My still speak to the boys. Without them, I wouldn't be here. So that's pretty cool. But then, lockdown hit then. This is after like a year of going to the gym. I say I made progress. Barely any. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't training properly. Just sort of throwing a bit of weight around, I didn't know any better. And then lockdown came, and because that was part of my routine and that got taken away from me, I was like, right, shit, what do I do with myself now? I can't go to the gym. So panic bought the world's worst bench press off Amazon and like a 10 kilo bar. And then I was working from home at the time, doing uni from home. And that was my highlight of the day was, right, let's log off for a day and let's smash some weights around the kitchen, quite literally. Going into watching David Lade, Gymshark videos, the old school ones, and seeing this guy pound down 5K calories, but he's shredded. And I'm like, yo, surely that's the key, right? And they're doing like 10K calorie challenges and all that stuff. So I just thought, pound the food away. Let's get bigger. Let's get push the scales up and whatnot. And yeah, I gained weight. I put on a bit of muscle, but I also put on way too much body fat and didn't like how I looked.
Where was that entry point for you? Was it watching David Lade? Was it before that?
Not so much David Lade, more just the fact that going through that whole. This is like for context, like 2019 ish. Late 2018 to into 2020, that sort of year and a bit by there. Just watching sort of like the aesthetics era of gym,
Yeah.
They did a McKenna, the fake natty accusations going around, these 19-year-old kids living their life, getting money just to lift and shit like that. I thought that was cool, right? And, just I felt stronger because I was eating more. Bear in mind, I wasn't moving around because I was working from home, right? So I'm not moving at all. and just I felt myself getting stronger, but then I didn't like the shape of me because I was out of shape, right? So I was conscious of that. It's funny because looking back at old photos at that time, you can see that I'm like taking photos at angles where you can't see my waist like front on. Do you know what I mean?
Secret Photoshopper, mate. In terms of like the
And
angles that you're trying to take, not
yeah,
photoshopping as a concept, right? But like,
no edit, but like you're trying to get the twist and you're trying to get the
yeah,
you
hundred
know
percent.
because that's the way it was, and it's funny to look back at. But yeah, that's where we got to that point, and that's when I met yourself, and that's when we took me being a fridge to actually dialing me in a bit, and we got quite shreddy.
Yeah, I remember the time when you came to me and we had a very, very honest conversation, and it sounded like you were very, very accepting that your ways needed to change.
Oh
Would
yeah,
you say that was your turning point, or would you say there was any other turning point other than just signing up to the coaching? Because obviously, look, it sounds like we're plugging the coaching, right? But
uh,
genuinely,
it was like I'm here now. I'm against the ceiling, and I can't break through the ceiling.
yeah,
I needed the extra step. Like I knew, and for those that listen, not watching, I've just done like bunny ears. I say I knew, I obviously didn't know. But I
quotation.
knew how to get stronger. I was getting stronger. My scales were going up, but I didn't look like aesthetic, right? Not that matters in terms of what other people think, but I wasn't happy with it. So I was like, well, how do I then keep the muscle mass that I've got on, but then look and feel better? I didn't know how to go about cutting down, tracking macros, things like that at the time. So I needed that help to be able to take me to that next step, right?
Yeah, and you mentioned before, just going back on what you said, like your previous implementation of exercise before you joined the coaching was just going to the gym, right? You didn't track your steps, you didn't do any cardio or anything like that.
I didn't track workouts either. I was just do what I feel like. Like, this gym, I'll just do like a couple sets of bench press. It's like, all right, what's next? Just do a little bit of whatever. Try and get a pump on. And like, there's no purpose to it. We're just doing it.
Yeah, so there was no
You know?
structure. So what you're saying is like your first couple of years, there was no structure. It was like go in, do what you feel like, train a muscle group a little bit.
Yeah, nothing. Just do whatever, bro. Like, because that's how it was when I first started going with my couple of mates, right? Like, just do a bit of whatever. There'd
Yeah.
be some sort
And
of
then,
stuff with those guys because they were experienced more than I am, but I would just sort of jump in with whatever was going on. Yeah.
yeah, and then like we're talking about the coaching a lot and it being the turning point. And obviously, look, it's one of those things where coaching is a broad term, but it's really applying new levels of knowledge to what you're doing, right? And that's what kind of opened your eyes to the differences that you can do and the actual amount of things that you can control and change. Because before, you were kind of like, oh, there's one way to do it, and then maximize that, and now turn to coaching. Whereas now, you have many more ways that you could skin the same cat.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think the only thing that didn't change was the effort.
Yeah,
I was happy to pay for a coaching service and whatnot and put in the effort because I was putting in effort anyway in terms of training. I just wasn't doing it correctly, if you will. I needed to change the plan, but the effort and drive was there. I just needed to have the structure in place to be able to actually do what I wanted to do.
so if you could compare how much time you're actually spending in the gym before coaching and before you gained that knowledge versus whilst you were being coached and still are being coached, how much time difference would you say there is in terms of actually spending time in the gym working out?
Oh, I spend way less in there.
Yeah,
And how much more do I get out of it? A lot more. I say this to
less is
people when I
more.
went to one, in the gym. Less is more. If you work efficiently, challenge yourself, but keep it safe and actually use proper technique and go in with a purpose, you can be in and out within 45 minutes and do the job, no problem.
100%. And
No
that's where
problem.
I think a lot of people get mistaken by. They think, oh, if I spend 2 hours in the gym, then that's me done. It's like, it's what you do in the gym. It's what you do in those 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, rather than the actual just time spending around. Because some people, honestly, if you ask them the question, if they spend 1.5 hours in the gym, but half the time's them on their thumbs fucking texting
Oh, yeah.
away, you
Something like
ask
that.
them, oh, how was the gym? They'd be like, yeah, I spent 1.5 hours in there, got it done, blah, blah, blah. But then you compare that to somebody who just goes in, gets their headphones on, switches the fuck on, and then gets a load of work done in 45 minutes. They're actually getting way more done in half the time.
And the gym is one thing, but then what you do outside of the gym matters the most, right? Like,
Yeah, so let's touch upon that. So now with your current lifestyle, now with all the knowledge that you've gained from myself in particular, how does exercise now look in your current lifestyle? So we've speaking about the gym, but how does it look as a total landscape for you right now?
obviously, I still work with yourself in terms of you coaching me. We have a structure in place, right? I'm going, as of recording, I'm going away in like, what, just under 2 weeks. So we've been looking to sort of cut down a bit. But, for me, I use it as a luxury, right? I enjoy it. The reason I PT for a living is because I actually enjoy it. And I believe there's more to life than working a job that you don't enjoy, right? And I'm blessed to be able to do that and call that my living. But for my own personal, purposes, I just train because I enjoy it. Simple. That sounds quite basic, but that's just the truth.
Do you know what? Everyone goes on about how there's an optimal way to do things and you can do more efficient ways of training this way. I always enjoyment overrides everything. If you are enjoying something, right, let's take a very simple analogy of a barbell press versus a cable cuffed press, right? Are you going to get more stimulation from a cabled cuff press? Yes, you are. But fuck me, it's not an absolute faff to deal with and quite boring to do 15 reps. Whereas you compare that to a dumbbell press or a barbell press, there's a lot more enjoyment and satisfaction from completing the actual exercise. Yes, you may miss out on 20% of muscle stimulation, but you're moving away from the session having enjoyed that, released endorphins, rather than doing it the most efficient and optimal way. And that's something that I always say to every client, and something I've said to you as well. Enjoyment overrides everything. And like the amount of times that we've made changes and tweaks to a plan based off of you not enjoying a certain exercise or you not agreeing with a certain exercise, that's what's been able to continue the level of progress. Like it's particularly with your leg growth, bro. Oh, mate, this guy's legs, man, like it's gone twofold.
Funny you should say that because I didn't train legs for the first 2 years because I
Yeah,
was a typical, teen that didn't know any better. I,
you're built like Johnny Bravo, yeah.
I knew not to skip, bro. But like, let's be real. Like that's a common thing, right? Younger lads want big arms, yeah. Like that. Let's not beat around the bush here. That sounds like cringe, but that's the truth, right? When you're that
Yeah.
age, that's just the truth, bro. Chest and arms, yeah. Let's bench it today, bro.
You have got a good chest and arms on you, though. Do you know what I mean?
Like, okay, this is a good one. How many people you spoke to through like consultation or just question that might say, "Oh, I'm feeling a little bit of a pain here in my shoulder and chest."
Mm.
Normally rotator, right? And it's like, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I do a lot of bench," and they just smash the bench out, and they're probably not doing it properly, and that's where they're going to hurt themselves, right? Just because it's like, "Oh, let's bench, bro." It's just it
Yeah.
sounds funny, but that's just the truth. And I think I'll always say to someone is never neglect anything. Like leg day
Yeah.
is leg day. Legs hurt way more than the body. Like, that's just a fact. But
Right. I trained them today.
oh well, there we go. Then we know, right? You should never neglect anything. Prioritizing weaker areas you don't have a real big weakness, I think, is important.
Going back to the bench press thing. I know I used an example, but it fucked me and off a shit actual chest exercise. Like it's a great compound, but for your actual chest, it's fucking shit, bro. Like it's there's so many better ways. Like I literally did a video today. I posted a video about the converging chest press variation, and for
Yeah,
me, in my opinion, that's the best form of flat press that you can do, right? Because it goes in line with your pectoral muscles, in line with your scap movement. So yeah, but at the same time, mate, like again, it'll if someone comes to me and says, "Oh yeah, I simply don't want to remove bench press or barbell bench press from my split," I'll be like, "Do you know what? If it's that much of an emotional connection, then fine, keep it in. We'll just work around it."
because what you said there is interesting as well. Like you might get a little bit more in terms of being optimal or whatever with the cuffs and whatnot, but chances are the people that are really gonna push to be as optimal as possible probably aren't ticking as many boxes as someone that knows what they're doing might be a little bit less optimal, but they're being consistent. What I mean by that is, okay, in the gym, you might be 100%, again, I'm doing quotation things with my fingers here, optimal. But then, are you getting your meals in? Are you resting enough? Are you following an actual plan throughout the week? Or are you just trying to dial in for 45 minutes and then doing whatever for the rest of the day? So actually, you're not actually getting anything out of that time anyway. You know what I mean?
100%, mate. That literally goes perfectly into the next bit where we're going to talk about the physical benefits of exercise. Like you just said there, there's obviously two, in my opinion, bro, there's two, there's a two-pronged fork with this, right? You've
Right.
got what you do in the gym and what you've got out of the gym, right? And I feel like, yes, there are physical benefits, direct physical benefits from exercise. However, to get the maximum amount of enjoyment and actual return on investment from your exercise, you have to look at the external side of things where the other 23 hours of the gym, like at the end of the day, bro, what's more important, 23 hours or 1 hour, right? So
Okay.
like, yes, the exercise and the increased blood flow and the increased heart rate will give you a good cardiovascular response and improve your health. Obviously, muscle strength goes without saying. You know, if you go to the gym and you do resistance training, you're going to increase muscle tissue and you're going to increase your muscle strength. But at the same time, to maximize the amount of actual benefits that you're going to get from the exercise, that nutrition area plays such a fucking key role. And I think you're someone who's really good to talk about that because you've been on both sides of that coin.
Massively. Like nutrition is everything. If you go on a treadmill, and before anyone says, I know that when you go on a treadmill and it says you burn 100 calories, there's no way to determine that's actually accurate whether you burned
Nah,
100
bro,
calories.
that right. That let's hold on. That honestly is my biggest pet peeve. When a client when a client says to me, "Oh, my Apple Watch just told me I've burnt an extra 400 calories. Can I have some more food?" No, you fucking can't, bro, because that Apple Watch is a fucking fraud. And them treadmills are even bigger frauds, bro. They
Uh,
are the biggest frauds going. Bro, how you tell me, yeah, how you can do a 5 kilometer speed walk for 15 minutes? Well, not even that, sometimes it's 10 minutes and you can burn 100 calories. It's not happening, brother. Brother, it's not happening.
and I think it's a dangerous thing for people that don't have that level of knowledge because they can become very attached to it.
Oh, bro,
Uh,
massive.
can be a slippery slope, right? But going back to what I was saying with food there as well, is like, say if you were in, trying to think if it goes up here, you were in a very, very slight deficit, right? But then you eat something like, I don't know, like two bananas or whatnot. That might push you up into a circle. But how are you going to feel in terms of like on a weekly basis? Are those two bananas going to make a massive difference to how hungry you're going to feel? Probably not. But having that nutrition dialed, being accurate to yourself will make a big difference there. And having that foundation in place initially, then we start working, and then the exercise we do counts towards that goal. But without that, and if you have no idea, if you're not tracking things, you're just having you could be doing nothing. You can do all the exercise you want, but if you're under eating, overeating, or whatever it is, you're selling yourself short. And it is a bit of a waste of time, which sounds a bit dramatic, but that's just the truth, really.
You can't outtrain a bad diet, my people.
Ever,
Simple fact
ever.
of life. And like as well, do you know what it is, bro? And this is a conversation I have a lot, right? More than I probably should, right? If you're spending, let's say on average, yeah, you're spending 1 hour a day in the gym 5 times a week. So 5 hours of your week, right? If you're investing that much time into the gym, you want to get return on investment. And the
Of course.
best way that you're going to get return on investment is by tracking your calories for the goal, right? And look, we're talking about calories from a deficit point of view with that deficit undertone. So from that point of view, obviously, look, you're going to get more return on investment if you are in a consistent calorie deficit alongside your training. But the same goes for muscle building, bro. You've been in that phase too, and so have I. Like, if you don't eat the required amount of food to be in a surplus, your training the next day will suffer and your recovery the
Yeah.
next day will suffer, especially if your body is very used to that surplus coming in. And again, same with hydration. We can go into the hydration side of things. I don't really want to go too much into the scientific side of things, but as long as you're covering your hydration, your electrolyte balance, your nutrition, whether you're in a deficit or a surplus, and making sure that you're prepared for your exercise, that's when, and only then, you'll get the most out of your workouts. Like, hydration is so overlooked, bro. And like, it's something that is genuinely the key to whether a good session becomes a bad session or vice versa. Because if you're not hydrated, how are those nutrients and how is that blood flow going to get to the muscles? It's literally water. Like, if you are making the blood flow a lot harder to reach its destination, you're literally shooting yourself in the kneecap.
Yeah,
So you
here's a good one as well for people that might not understand that as much. You know when you wake up right after a night out and you are violently hungover. I'm talking like
yeah,
on death's. How do you feel? You feel like a shell of a person, right? You feel just ill, just head banging, you're gagging for a glass of water, right? Your body's dehydrated, it's screaming. Food and water is fuel for your body. Yeah, try and train feeling like that, not just being hungover, but just in general. That's a good example of when you get dehydrated. Then try and train after you've had a good few meals the day before, you've had a nice breakfast, whatever it is, you've been in work, you've had a meal before the gym, you've had some water, and tell me the difference night and day, right? So like you said
100%,
there,
bro.
what you do outside and setting yourself up there, and the gym is a very small part of making progress.
100%,
That
bro. And like
is, but yeah,
the one key area that I think it has the most benefits for me, and certainly I know for you, because after all, you're my boy and we know each other very well, is the mental side of things, the emotional benefits and the psychological benefits of exercise. And there's no better person that I can think of that has grown as much due to a regimented exercise routine than you. Like, we're talking, because I'm going to say it because James won't, he's too humble, right? This guy came to me reliant upon antidepressants, reliant upon anxiety pills, reliant upon this to get him through the day, right? Now you tell me, bro, what's the crack with the tablet situation?
I was studying them in about 18 months now, probably, maybe more.
18 months ago.
And I was double dose, max dosed up every day. Um, it was mad, and that took time. But without the gym, straight up, I don't think that I would have got to where I am now. And it took a lot of time. And there was days that I didn't want to do my training or do anything really, which might sound a bit dramatic, but I know there's a lot of people out there that will suffer as well, and they will never say they will, because it's quite a scary thing to admit. And even coming on here, recording a podcast, and doing things like that, back in the day, probably would never have done that. Would have been quite nerve-wracking to do so, but it just takes time. But the principle of the more you do something, the more comfortable you're going to get with it, the more second nature it's going to be. Sort of relates to everything, especially to exercise. When you're feeling as low as I felt and as others have felt as well, try and use that. Use that as fuel. Because I would love to see, by the way, how many times how to stay motivated is Google. I bet it was quite a lot. And if anyone ever right that they're motivated every day, they are full of shit, mate. Yeah, there's not one person on this earth that is motivated every day. David Goggins, don't care.
Hold on.
Discipline is what will get you through. Yeah, you're not gonna feel like it every day, bro, but just go and do it anyway, and tell me how you feel after. I guarantee you'll feel better. You
So
agree with that?
if you put how to stay, it comes up motivated as the fourth one. So
Well, there you go.
awake, how to stay cool in Bangkok. How is that second, bro?
Like,
Oh, it's because I'm on a Thailand fucking thing, bro. And then how to stay healthy, how to stay motivated. Mad fourth in the
but
whole of
but
the system, bro.
you can say that as well, and you took sort of exercise and gym to a high level of competing at
Yeah.
pro qualified bodybuilding. I've done natural bodybuilding show, and I like to push myself as well. There's not every day you're motivated like to do that straight up. That's not a normal thing. But the discipline and sort of the sort of inner push within yourself to go, no, I'm going to do it anyway, even if I don't feel like it. You feel 10 times better after on those days. And those days when you don't feel like it add up in the long term to sort of get you towards a goal, right?
It's all about keeping promises to yourself, bro. Like let's create a scenario, right? You commit to 5 sessions a week. Okay, let's say you've been doing that for 4 or 5 weeks. Cool. One of those 5 sessions, you can't be fucked. But you complete the workout. Why? Because you made a promise to yourself that you're going to get 5 sessions a week done. Now, this may sound like a very small thing, but this leads into other forms of not keeping promises to yourself. Like if you're willing to flunk and miss out on a gym session, what else are you willing to miss out on? What else are you willing to stop doing? Like it's a very, very basic form of accountability. Like if you set 5 sessions out for yourself, go and do 5 sessions, because then you're going to increase the amount of confidence in your own capabilities. You've overcome an obstacle to get to the gym, to train, to complete the workout. And then because you've done that, you're going to feel much better about yourself. Look, at the end of
100%.
the day, if you have a really good session, I don't care how you're feeling, right? It's always going to make your mood better, bro, because they're the
Yeah.
endorphins that released in the body when you like achieve a really good pump, bro. There's nothing like it, you know. Even if it's legs, right? There's nothing like feeling like you've absolutely fucked up a muscle group. It gives you another sense of accomplishment, and if you can keep doing that, that's where the increased levels of self-esteem that you yourself have managed to benefit from, you know. And I think a big part of exercise and a big part of the psychological side of things is that keeping those promises to yourself and building that resilient mindset and that mental toughness.
Challenge. You don't want to, but you've done it anyway. You chose the hard option. A good example I'll always say is, and I'm not saying people have to wake up at 6 in the morning and go bang gym. Like, I'm not saying that. But, if you wake up a little
Fuck
bit
that.
earlier, yeah, no, but I couldn't train that time. But a good example, I was doing it earlier because most people work 9 to 5, yeah? So they're either going to go before or after work. The easy option after you've worked all day is to go home and chill, yeah? Or if you're going to work out in the morning, is to have a lie in and go to work, right? I see people day in and day out that would never dream of coming in early or coming in late or after work or whatnot. But after they do, will say that they're so much better off for doing so because it was the harder option out of the two. And the sort of accomplishment you get from setting yourself a challenge, which is challenging, instead of going with the easy route, is nice because then when you go home then and you start chilling out, or you're going on holiday and you've been putting some time away for yourself, it's more enjoyable because you've put in some graft.
Yeah, because we were talking about the challenges things, bro. Like it comes down to setting realistic goals as well. You know, if you make the challenge too difficult, right? Because there's levels, bro. There's levels in bodybuilding, there's levels in exercise, there's levels in business, right? There's levels to everything, right? So depending on where your level is right now, you could be beginner, intermediate, advanced, prepping, whatever, right? It all comes down to setting yourself realistic goals. Like, let's put it this way, yeah. If you're doing like 10K step count at the moment every day, yeah, and then tomorrow you set yourself a 30K step count, what's the likelihood of you being able to actually consistently achieve that? So again, like you were talking about the challenges, but also understanding when the challenge that you're about to do is a little bit of a step too far and then reining it back a bit. You know, it's all good to fail as well, by the way. Setting realistic goals doesn't mean that you're always going to accomplish them. Like there's a difference between setting realistic goals and setting easy goals, right? So again,
Mm.
like that challenge aspect, those overcoming those obstacles are down to the importance of the realistic time frame of or the realistic outcome or the realistic adherence to those goals. Like we talk about a simple goal like 5 sessions a week. You can go as far as to say your step count, your cardio, when you're going to do your cardio. All these things are challenges, and like we're going to touch upon it a little bit later, but it comes into like your routine, right? And if for people who have got like a 9 to 5, a busy day that they do Monday to Friday, the challenge and the goal is to fit what you need to do in and around that schedule. And that's
Yeah.
predominantly my responsibility as a coach, and your responsibility as a PT is to figure out the time at which they can actually give those 5, 6 hours a week, right? And then again,
Yeah.
from there, it's the building a consistency.
Off the back of that as well, I want to say I completely agree. A question that you would have had multiple times that I get now and then is, when's the best time to work out? Right? And the best time is literally what you just said, when you can fit in.
Yeah. Same with
Doesn't
cardio,
matter.
bro. Yeah. You
Oh
know
yeah,
when, bro. Yeah. Listen,
that's from the distance.
fasted cardio, post workout cardio. Again, it comes down to the fact that if you are in a situation, right, and we can go as far as like the PD side of things, bro. Yeah. Like Anavar, for instance, bro, best to take it around your training window. But I'm not going to lie, since I've been in Thailand, bro, I forgot. So if I don't take it in my morning pills, if I don't take it alongside my T3, T4, Yimbine, I actually run the risk of forgetting. So like you apply that to cardio again, fucking looking at your routine, looking at your schedule and going, right, where the hell can I fit all this stuff? Right? reverse engineer your goal. How much, let's say we're in a calorie deficit, how much cardio is necessary, if any? How many steps are necessary a day, if any? Well, I say if any. You're going to need a step count goal, right? How many calories a day do I need, right? And then you go, okay, how can I do this? How am I going to set these targets, set these goals? And then also go back to the enjoyment side of things, like picking a cardio piece of equipment or a form of cardio that's enjoyable that you can stick to. Like, I was actually having the conversation with the missus the other day. The reason why a lot of people love classes, mate, is because you're probably burning the same amount in an hour as you would on the Stairmaster, but you come out of that room feeling totally different. Like you have interacted with people, you've been pushed by a PT, but you've burned the same amount of calories and you just haven't been stepping on a fucking Stairmaster and staring at a screen and staring at a clock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, massive. I agree. Going back to being realistic with that as well is I fell into this trap, and I think everyone has. And I don't want to go too much into this side of like social media things, but it is relevant that people will see someone and go, "I want to look like that." Just compete with yourself. You'll never, ever be able to look like someone else, right? And what I mean by that is you'll be able to progress, whether it's putting on muscle or getting a little bit leaner. But why do you need to look like that person? There's not going to be any benefit from that, and that's just creating a lot of pressure for people, and they're doing it for the wrong reason. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, bro,
And that's things like, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but these things like Ozempic, like diabetic medication people are taking to get lean and get skinnier and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a dangerous game, man. It's a very dangerous game, and it's scary because I've seen it myself. I've had ads pop up promoting stuff like this, and people are not. It's very, very scary. So just competing with yourself and not putting that pressure to do things now and do it by next week and do it by yesterday. So I think as a generation, people are getting a lot more impatient and they want it now. There's no need to rush. Real sustainable progress and healthy lifestyle habits should take time to achieve.
Yeah, the dangerous thing about looking at somebody else, mate, is that you actually don't know and will never know what it took for them to look like that. And that's the thing. And this is why I say Instagram's a massive one, bro. Bro, Instagram is the biggest problem with that because you don't fucking know how many diets this person's been doing, how many weeks he's been dieting, how much fucking drugs he's been taking. You don't know.
That guy on Instagram, Goob, and his whole Instagram is exposing like people that Photoshop and that.
Yes.
Like, mate, crazy. These are people with thousands of followers, six figures plus, and like straight using filters on videos, mate. I saw one. There was a filter on a video of someone doing pull-ups, and there's like a waist snatching filter on a video. Do you know how crazy that is? Hello, we're back.
We're back. Go. Using Photoshop, like you said.
Yeah, on videos, mate. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I actually remember now. He like screen records, doesn't he? I don't even know how. I don't even know. Look, I don't follow the guy, but I've seen like the concept, right? He actually manages to get the original photos. I don't even know how he accesses them.
Different cases for different things, but the principle of that is there's people out there that will go to any length to try and make people that are
catfishes central, mate.
Yeah, I don't want to say people desperate. That's the wrong word, but people that are struggling with their own image and confidence, and people will pounce on that in a predatory way. And it's wrong, it's very wrong. But unfortunately, it's a very common thing.
Comparison's the biggest thief of joy, mate. Like, if you are consistently looking at Instagram and you're consistently comparing your efforts to somebody else's efforts, you don't know what they're actually doing when they're not posting something on their stories, or what they're actually doing when they're not posting on their fucking Instagram. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? And like, for someone who's been on both sides of the coin, where I've been incredibly open and transparent about my entire process during one prep, and then I've been a little bit reserved and a little bit quiet on others because I've just been getting my head down, it don't make any difference. All you should do is have your plan, have your goal, reverse engineer what you need to do to get that goal done, and then just keep working. Like, so many clients come to me and say, I want to look like you. And it's like, well, yeah, I've been trying to look like this for 7 years, and I'm now at the stage where 7, 8 years down the line, multiple preps down the line, I can not have to do cardio. I can eat what I want when I want, right? And that's taken 7 years, bro. And that's taken me to get thick skin shredded as well. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? You know what's mad? Would you agree with this as well? When I first started, maybe this is just a personal thing, but I think it's quite common. First started putting on a bit of size. I'm buying the gym strap stringers, yeah. I'm buying the vests, the tank tops. Go on my recent orders from any bodybuilding thing ever. It's triple XL, bro. I'm wearing bed sheets. Yeah, and this is me, and I don't think I'm very insecure, but a lot of people that have a lot of muscle, especially in the bodybuilding world, have rubbed me.
Bro,
You know,
this is actually perfect. This is perfect because me and you are on both ends of the spectrum here. I am someone you do not have to give me a second excuse to get my top off. Like, this is where I think some people look at me and they genuinely must think, how is that guy so confident? And it is one of those things where I'm just really comfortable in my own skin. And you can call it what you want, being an alpha male, being comfortable, being arrogant. You call it whatever the fuck you want, my people. The reality is, we put all this time and effort into creating our physiques. We put all this time and effort making our body look a certain way. Be happy, be grateful for what you've achieved. Be grateful for the physique that you have. But always want more, right? There's nothing wrong with being grateful with what you have, but always wanting a bit more out of life. There's nothing wrong with being proud, but never satisfied. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I see some people, man, they're in good shape, bro, and they're just covering up like they wouldn't say boo to a goose down a fucking empty alley. It's crazy, bro. It's actually crazy, bro.
That's one side of it, but then there's also other sides, and it's just it's a dangerous game, and it's all links back to the sort of the mental side of it.
Yeah.
It's just a mad mix, and let's be real. Everyone wants to look good and feel good. Whether that's people like to have a tan, right? People like to get their nails done. People like to have a fresh trim. People like to look a little bit muscly. Someone wants a six pack. Someone wants a nice set of teeth. Whatever, yeah. Everyone wants to look good, feel good. Full stop. Full stop.
100%. I had a very good experience about this today. So I was getting ready, and my missus was at the gym, right? And she messaged me on WhatsApp. She was like, "There's a gym in Phuket in Bang Tao called Delta, right?" And the owner of that gym was literally saying to my missus that the lads that he was with, the three of them, were talking about my calves. I've never spoke to this guy before, right? I've never spoke to the gym owner. I spoke to him today because we obviously had something to talk about. But it's mad though. Hey, he was talking to my missus about my calves, and I never met the bloke. And he's seen it in the gym, and he's like, "Oh, I wish I had his calves. Like, he's got a cracking set of calves." And I saw him, and I met him. He's a fucking great lad. He's an Irish lad, yeah, absolute joker boy, classic like joker lad, right? And then he's there going, "Yeah, you've got a great set of calves there, lad." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Bro, if you're gonna compliment anything, I'll take the calves, bro. Like, calves is a bit of a rogue shout, man. I normally get chest, biceps, back, but I'll take calves." But this is going back to the point that you said, bro. Like, men in particular, yeah, always want a certain body part, right? Whether it's your chest, back, arms, traps, legs, calves, right? There's always something that they want, like an ideal body part, right? And like at the end of the day, for me, bro, and like for you, it's about building the whole thing, bro. Because like it's a statement piece, yeah. Like let's have it right, yeah. If we're talking about myself and the gym Delta owner, right? Like for your audio listeners, I'm just putting a size graph in between my hands of the difference in levels of finances between me and the owner of the gym Delta, right? This is a guy who has gyms in the UK, he has gyms around Thailand, he has gyms in Hong Kong, okay? How have we managed to meet each other? Where's the bridge of the gap, right? Between my social position, my financial position, and his. My fucking physique, bro. So people who want to get into business understand that your physique opens doors. Your physique puts you in rooms that you shouldn't fucking be in. The reality is that gym owner isn't talking to me or isn't talking to my missus about me if I didn't have the physique that I have. And now next time I see the gym owner, I can have a more expansive conversation, maybe build some form of relationship, and then have him as a contact later on down the line. And that's all been accessible through my calves initially, but as a which is crazy, by the way. Imagine, yeah. Oh yeah, how did you meet this guy? How did you become a business partner? Oh yeah, he liked my calves and we just got chatting.
No, but it's the truth, and my style of my own training is bodybuilding. I'm a fan of
Yeah.
bodybuilding. I know you're not as interested in following it, in terms of like Olympia and whatnot as I am, but I can appreciate when those guys get on stage, the work and the determination it takes to get to that level.
Yeah.
And then people that would watch that and go, "What's that dickhead doing in a thong with tan on? He looks stupid. He looks gross."
Yeah.
It's like, fair enough. You said everyone entitled to your opinion, but I can appreciate what that takes to get there and what.
100%, mate. And I think, mate,
Yeah.
I think the general consensus now is moving more towards having respect for people who are in good shape. Like before, it used to be something that was very frowned upon, and used to be something like you were like annexing yourself off into the bodybuilding community. But now, I mean, I've experienced it myself lately over the last 12 months. Like looking a certain way and looking good all year round is very marketable, and it's something that a lot of people want, and it's something a lot of people aspire to achieve, right? And it takes a lot of work to do that, right? It takes a lot of work to get yourself into that position, and then it also takes a lot of work to stay in that position, right? There's one thing I will always say to everybody: there's one thing getting in shape, there's a completely other thing staying in shape, right? Because it's all about decision making. And this is again bringing it back to the role of exercise, is the decisions that you make on your exercise on a weekly basis will have a physical consequence, will have a psychological consequence, and it's down to you to make it a positive consequence. Because if you don't go to that session, if you don't go get your steps in, if you don't do that cardio session, if you don't attend that class, the positive will turn to a negative.
Yeah.
Right. And what we want to try and do is obviously uplift ourselves, boost our own self-esteem, boost our own physical appearance. Because I can tell you now, if you're in shape, you will open doors that were firmly shut. And again, it gives everyone a common ground, right? We're talking about a difference between me and a guy that owns 7, 8 gyms, right? That common interest has brought me and him together. And that's really how powerful your physique can be. And a lot of people look at it from like a little bit of fat loss and a little bit of muscle gain. It goes way further than that. Like it becomes your aura, it becomes a statement piece. You get to walk into a room and command respect straight away, because the people in that room look at you and go, to achieve that, that's taken an incredible amount of work. I respect that. And then because they respect that, they respect you. And then that has massive positive consequences, and as well, like wrapping it up a little bit here with the incorporation of it into your busy life, because we're both, I've already said I'm busy. I know you're fucking busy. Geezer's fucking smashing it. He literally signed up as a PT at the beginning of the year. He's now fucking full time. Can we just have a little silent round of applause? Tap, tap, tap.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is another thing that we want to talk about quickly in terms of like, we are very busy. Now, I want your opinion on how you incorporate exercise into your routine and how that fundamentally structures your week.
Okay, this is a good one. So obviously, still being coached by yourself, so I have targets to hit. Yeah. Let's say, for an example, I've sat down, finished a day, 7, 8 p.m. I'm knackered, tired, busy day, lots going on, and I got 2K steps to do. Right, is it the end of the world that I'm tired? Yeah, can I just do it tomorrow? No, I mean, I could do extra. Or am I just going to get on with it anyway? Yeah, we can make time. We're all busy, but we can make time. Yeah, there's always excuses. And this sounds like a little bit harsh, but, let's be real here. Tough love. If I've got a busy day, my day as a PT, so I don't have structured hours, right? I'll have days that are similar, but it can be 3 hours back to back. It could be 5 hours back to back. It could be 15 minutes between anyone, whatever. I'll just fit it in where I can. Simple. If I'm tired, cool. I'll make time. I'll get it done. And that's not me being like, oh, look at me. I'm superhuman. I can get it done. No, I just know that I want what I've set out to do, and I'm going to do it anyway. And that links into the
Wow.
I think I would do Stairmaster. I've had a busy morning.
Yeah.
No. But am I going to do it anyway because I owe it to myself, or I know I'll feel better afterwards for pushing myself? Yeah. So there we go.
Such a fantastic viewpoint, man. It's like comparing that to me, you're gonna get two fantastic ways of looking at this, right? you've obviously seen James's approach. He's like, if I can fit 15 minutes in, I'll fit it in, get my steps in. If I can squeeze a bit of stairmaster in, I'll squeeze it in. Whereas me, I'll look at my day, right? And this is how my structure works. I'll look at my day. Like for instance, today I looked at my calendar and I was like, busy. So what did
Is
I
it?
do? What did I do? I made sure I boxed off 7,500 steps before I went to the gym. I then trained at 11:30 in the morning, which I don't normally do because I knew that if I left it until now, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I simply wouldn't have the energy to go. So there's two ways of looking at it, right? Whereas you have got a mindset where you're going to do it around the flexibleness of your schedule. I look at my schedule and go, right, okay, where can I fit the gym? So there's two very different ways of looking at it, but both get the fucking job done, right? I've trained today. You've trained today, right? Or Wednesday rest day.
Rest day today, but like,
Yeah. So
same
the,
thing.
the principle applies, right? You will go and train and fit it in. And I always look at it going, right, I'm going to block this part of my day out for me. And I think when you have a busy lifestyle, when you're particularly a busy online coach, you can get wrapped up in just working, but neglect the exercise side of things. And it's so important to make sure that you genuinely make time for it because when it comes to having a full-time online coaching business, the reality is this: you either let your business run you or you run your business. Now, making time to go to the gym in the morning or making the time to go in the gym in the afternoon in and around some work block is you running your business rather than your business running you, right? And I always say this to all my mentees: it's making sure that you get that balance right, where you're making yourself accessible to your clients and you're doing your job, but you're also having a little bit of time for yourself. Because no one, and I mean no one, is too busy to make an hour of themselves available
Oh yeah.
to the gym, to anything they want to do. Right? There's no one that can tell me, that can convince me and sit me down and go, you know what? I'm that full time. I don't have an hour to go to the gym. Bollocks.
No, it's
Bollocks, mate. That is bullshit.
priorities, mate. It's the priorities. It's and if people don't prioritize the gym as much as other things, that's fine. But we all have 24 hours. I know that's a typical like TikTok business guru thing to come across, and that's a quote.
Yeah, that's a
Facts,
bit.
just facts though. But it is the
That's a bit
facts.
Molly May. That is. That's a bit Molly May. That is, bro.
I know, but it is the facts, bro.
You
Every,
guys, we've all got the same 24 hours.
You got slaved for that, bro.
well, that's a bit mad though, comparing that. But what I mean by that, is priority, innit? It's priority. It's a
Yeah, bro. It's all about priorities, mate. Like, at the end of the day, we've all got decisions to make. Okay? We've all got decisions to make. And I always say, right, if somebody's screen time is above 5 hours, right, you can put your phone down for 2 hours and you can go and train or you can go and get some steps in, right? I mean, I'm not the most efficient with my phone, bro. My missus calls me a fucking iPad kid, right?
Yeah, but that's
So,
but that's fine. But do you get what you need to done? Yeah.
yeah. And this is the thing, bro. It's something that you're always evolving with, right? And this is where, again, going back to like the being busy, like you are always not going to, like, sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. You're not always going to hit everything that you need to. But do you know what? There's a beauty in finding that correct operating window where you can get enough done that you can still take a small step towards your goals, right? There's always a trade-off where, okay, I can sacrifice absolutely everything for the ultimate outcome, or I can sacrifice a little bit less, but still make the progress that I want, just prolong the period of time in which I make that progress in. And that's always the trade-off, bro. Literally all the time.
I say it to everyone. You
Yeah.
know,
I've
this
taught you well, haven't I?
yeah. Well, you go back to what I was saying earlier about people saying they want everything yesterday. Yeah, they want it now.
Yeah.
Number one, why? If someone wants to lose, I don't know, £10 in 8 weeks, if you lose 9.5, what happens then? Nothing. What happens if you lose
Yeah.
10? Half a pound. Are you going to notice it? Probably not. I know that's quite a specific thing. But what I mean by that is there doesn't need to be any pressure there. And you don't need to sacrifice your whole life. Because say if you sacrifice everything like you would in like a bodybuilding prep and whatnot, the reward, if you will, for a bodybuilding prep is a show, being in the best condition you can, knowing you tick the box. But if you're not a competitive athlete like that, for what? You're going to come to that said day, week, whatever it is you set yourself. Nothing's going to change. and you're going to feel so much worse mentally because you've sacrificed family time, time with your partner, going away. Everyone deserves to live their life and have a break, and we've both been in that boat where we've sacrificed everything for a period of time. And I can say within myself, for me, probably wasn't worth it, and I know you feel the same as well.
Yeah, so if I just quickly go on that, like that was a big, big realization for me last year. I very much came away from my prep like, cool, I can say to people that I got in true stage condition. But bro, like I was prepping when my dad was dying, and I was prepping when my dad died. And I came out of that situation, and my business wasn't really in the position that I wanted it to be in. But I could always say I got in shape. Did I win a show? I won a PCA show. Did I win anything else? No. Did I win what I set out to win, which is a pro card? No. And I looked at that and I go, do you know what? For me, where do I feel my happiest? Where do I feel like my operating window is most beneficial to what I want to do in my life? And that for me is running my business, growing my business, changing lives, impacting lives. And unfortunately, doing bodybuilding full time and prepping full time doesn't give room for you to do both at 100% capacity. Something has to give, right? You either turn up on stage slightly less conditioned because you've decided to maximize your business, or some business sacrifices are made and then you turn up on stage conditioned. There is no other way, bro. I can tell you from first-hand experience, done multiple preps, done it both ways, where I've got in decent shape, turn up on stage decent, and my business has boomed because I've had the energy to capitalize. But then I've also turned up in true stage condition, been 197 pounds. By the way, I'm 250 pounds now with fucking abs, which is mad. Mad. And I've made that decision, mate. And that's exactly why I'm taking a step away from bodybuilding, because
As well.
I feel alive, bro. Bro, I feel alive. I feel alive.
Those people listening that think we're just going off on a bodybuilding tangent. Let me tell you something right now. I was there when Steve woke up the morning of the pro qualifier when you were 197, and I was
Yeah.
actually scared when I looked at you because you didn't look well.
Nah.
I've never seen you look like that, and bodybuilding has that sort of freak. I'm doing quotation marks with my fingers again for those that are listening. You're meant to look freaky and look a bit like, whoa, let's steal the show. But I've never, ever seen you look like that. And I've seen you in basically when I've been there, yeah? That was something else, bro. And like you said, did you win your pro card? No. Do I think much would have changed if you did? Not at all.
No.
If anything, I think it might have been worse because if you were to ever compete again, because you're a pro, you would have had to push even more, I think. And then that probably would have had a good result, right? So, you gave everything. And when I say everything, you don't see what goes on behind the scenes, like everything.
Yeah.
Like barely keeping your eyes open when we're booking Ubers to the venue, giving everything.
Yeah.
And it's like you zoom out, you take a step back, you're in Thailand now, you look at it and go, shit, that was mad.
Yeah, bro. Well, listen, well, I actually had a conversation with Jack, who's one of my lads that I'm spending a lot of time with on here. And I explained to him about the situation with my dad passing around prep, and he was like, how the fuck did you do it? And I mean, look, my mind just goes to that stoic mindset going, I just got it done, bro. But looking back at it now, like organizing the funeral, ringing all the people, the funeral directors, going to the meetings and all that sort of shit, bro. And like being on the phone with the coroner, giving me the reason why my dad dead and all this stuff. I was like, looking back at it now, wow. Do you know what I mean? Some legit stuff right there.
I don't want to. I know it's like it's an emotional thing, right? It was an emotional time, but again, I was there when it got quite serious with your dad, and I can remember around. Oh Christ, where was it? In the Midlands. What's that place called? That we went to.
Oh shit, yeah, that Staffordshire. Fuck me.
Staffordshire. We were walking around there at like 9 a.m. Steve's just had like 4 scoops of pre-workout because he was that you put on so much water weight trying to get it off, and you just like there was never going to be anything that was going to stop you from going on the stage unless you physically dropped dead. You were getting on there, and that was just something else, bro. Like that was just
bad call. That was a bad call.
No, but it's not a bad call. What that relates to, I think, is just like what I said is like taking a step back.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can eat you up and really sort of have that snow globe effect in terms of, shedding you into this one specific thing. And for you, that was prep. But for other people, that would be focusing on losing X weight or hitting a certain weight or fitting into a certain clothes size and whatnot. And it can be a very slippery slope that happens very quick, That isn't just for bodybuilding. It can just be for anybody. There's no need to
very generic.
Yeah, of course. It's very
I mean, look, it's that obsessive mindset, right? And a lot of people can take that obsessive mindset over fucking something like Slimming World and SlimFast, right? And it's just a case of understanding that, like we've touched upon here, exercise has a massive, massive role to play when it comes to your well-being, comes to the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you conduct yourself at work, the way you operate at work, the way you operate with your family and friends. And it really is something that needs to be, in my opinion, a consistent in everybody's life, at least 5 times a week. I'm not even just talking walking around. I'm talking like 5 times a week, strenuous, heart-raising levels of exercise, whether that be resistance training, whether that be like cardiovascular training. It needs to be boosting your heart rate to a point that's past 130, 140, right? Because that's where you're going to see the true cardiovascular and respiratory responses from your body.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a kick, it's a hit, right?
Oh, bro, it feels great, man.
So you're getting a hit.
It's a love-hate relationship, bro. But like when it's all said and done, you feel great. You feel accomplished after the end of the day.
I always say that. So because when I PT, I teach classes as well, like circuit-based classes, sort of boot camp sort of classes, whatnot. And I always say to people that I want to make it hard, so then it's worth it, right? Imagine, take this for example, someone that is quite nervous in a gym setting, wouldn't really know what they're doing by themselves, or are a bit anxious about being there. And that was me. That was a lot of people at one point. Go into, build up and pluck up the courage to go and do a class or do whatever, and then leave and feel like they didn't get what they wanted from it, and it was like a waste of time. Imagine how deflating that is for someone. Whereas imagine someone building up, going there, being pushed, but not to the point where it's uncomfortable, but to the point it's challenging. Then ask them how they feel, and it'll be worth it a million times, 100%. And I know that because I ask people that every single time I teach it, and I get the same. And that's me. I'm just there instructing. There's a million instructors in the world that could do that, but I will ask that, and they will say the same thing because that's just how it works.
Amen to that, brother. And I think that's a lovely way to end, bro. I feel like this one's been a good podcast, bro. We've fucking bashed for an hour. How's that happen?
It's just raw, isn't it? It's raw, and that's the truth. There's a lot of wishy-washy stuff in the fitness industry, unfortunately. And
that's the thing, man. And this is why I'm doing a podcast, and I hope this episode particularly helps you guys, because at the end of the day, it's really just about understanding that exercise has a massive role to play in every aspect of your life.
And this is not something that me and Steve have sat down and planned out, really. We just sort of literally jumped on a call and spoke from, I don't want to say that.
Like we said, we're busy. We're busy though. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got too much time to organise and really plan things,
But an hour is filmed, but we could have spent an hour just twiddling and thumb scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, right? But just get it in, get it done, and just say it how it is, man.
We're giving you guys a lot of value, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Physique Podcast. Episode 3 already. Right. 3, man. As always, down below in the comment section, in the YouTube section, or down below in the podcast audio only, put your questions. Anything you want us to talk about next time. James will be back on.
Yeah.
And you spoke really well today, bro. I really appreciate your time, man. So,
I appreciate you, man. It's nice to catch up. And, for me, this is a pleasure. It's a privilege, really, that you asked me to come on here, and I'm more happy to, because, like I said,
guest, bro.
Oh,
that's
wow.
for you. That's for you, bro.
It's all raw, man. It's all raw. There's no artificial stuff here. It's just straight up how it is. So.
It's just straight up facts. No printer, just facts. That's what I say. Thank you very much, guys, for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, see ya.